report of the National Conference is our focus on this episode of Law Weekly. One of the delegates at the conference, the former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Edo State, Charles Uwesunyi Edosonwo, is our guest on the program. And he believes that everyone must join in the quest to see that the recommendations of the conference are implemented for the good of all Nigerians.
That is something I must tell Nigerians not to have, an attitude that will say, okay, it's not my business, it's the president's business. Well, Nigerians, when we're talking about the soul of our country, we're talking about moving ourselves forward. The president probably will be there for a few short years, and he goes away.
And the Nigerian Bar Association has concluded its annual general conference in Owerri, Imo State, with the swearing in of the new leadership. Welcome to Law Weekly on Channels Television. I am Shola Shiele. Let's begin with a quick recap of some of the top legal stories of last week.
Barely a month after the nationwide strike embarked upon by the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, was called off, the Ondo State chapter of the union has again embarked on another round of industrial action. The union members who locked judges, lawyers and litigants out of courtrooms moved around other judicial divisions to ensure compliance. Led by the chairman of the state union, Mrs. Kikelomo Iola, the workers said they would keep the gates locked until their demands were met. The major grasp of the union is a takeover of the duties of the administrative staff of the judiciary by magistrates. While the workers down tools in Ondo, it's a different story in neighboring Osun State, where judiciary workers and judges have since settled down for the first hearing of the petition arising from the August 9 elections of the state, which returned Governor Rauf Aregbesola. The governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Iyolo Omisore, had filed an 850-page petition before the State Governorship Elections Petitions Tribunal sitting at the State High Court in Osogbo. In the petition, he challenged the results of 17 local government areas of the state and sought an order of the tribunal to cancel the result in the local government areas or for fresh elections to be conducted on the basis that the polls were marred by careless rigging perpetrated by the All Progressives Congress through the Osun Youth Empowerment Scheme Cadet. No fewer than 7 senior advocates of Nigeria have been engaged by Senator Omisore to prosecute his case before the tribunal. The tribunal has assured the parties before it that it will carry out its duties without fear or favor. In Lagos, the EFCC last week Thursday rearraigned 8 suspected oil thieves before Justice Okonabang of the Federal High Court. They were arraigned on a 5-count charge bordering on conspiracy and illegal dealing in petroleum products. The defendants got into trouble on February 19, 2014, when they were arrested by men of the Nigerian Navy who were on routine patrol. The Nigerian Navy ship Andoni intercepted the MT Good Success and its 16-member crew along the Lagos waters. At the time of arrest, it was discovered that while MT Good Success had authority to carry 350 metric tons of automotive gas oil, it was loaded with 1,459 metric tons of premium motor spirit, PMS. Officers of the Nigerian Navy then handed over the vessel, its contents, and crew members to the EFCC for further investigations. The conclusion of the investigation led to the arraignment of all 8 suspects. And it's no more news that the federal government has reinstated the 16,000 resident doctors it suspended across the country 2 weeks ago. Before the reinstatement, though, the National Industrial Court sitting in Lagos last week Monday made an order restraining the federal government and his agents from serving the suspended resident doctors with sack letters. The resident doctors had filed an application seeking the court's order restraining the federal government and its agents from scrapping the program and terminating their appointments. The president of the court, Justice Babatunde Adejumo, ordered all the chief medical directors of the 37 medical institutions across the nation to hold action on the directive given by the federal government to dismiss the resident doctors. For now, it's not certain what will become of the case, which should come up for hearing on September the 17th. And finally on our recap is the news that the Nigeria Bar Association last week Friday rounded off its annual general conference in Owerri, Imo State. The 5-day conference availed participants the opportunity to discuss issues of governance, insecurity, the Ebola virus, the electoral system, and the state of the nation's economy. They stressed that there's need for national value reorientation, thorough, effective, and exemplary leadership, and the entrenchment of the rule of law and eradication of impunity. The closing ceremony also witnessed the official inauguration of the new NBA executives led by Augustine Alege, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Mr. Alege takes over from Okewali, also a Senior Advocate of Nigeria, as the 27th President of the Bar. He will lead the umbrella body of the association for the next 2 years.